Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGLgg Invite Highlander Season 14 Week 6 KOTH Asheville match, taking place between the League of Lemons and Froggieland. I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side, Dolphin behind the camera, as always. Zag, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, and we got a hot match here for you guys tonight. Both these teams 5-1 overall record, both tied at 36 match points apiece. Going to be competing for what is likely the second place tiebreaker spot going into the playoffs, and the other one's going to be at map disadvantage.
Yeah, and I'm just remembering that Dolphin, a bit silly, both teams 4-1, not 5-1. Our doc is wrong. But everything else still stands, as we have what, again, will likely be that second versus third seed coming into playoffs. Most of the playoff teams are fairly finalized at this point, barring a complete collapse by Squirtye. They will be occupying that fourth seed, with Fast Fourth in first, and really the winner of tonight's match likely going to claim second over the loser, who will be likely third. So these two teams very, very likely to play each other again in the near future. But right now, gonna see who has regular season bragging rights.
Yeah, and I can't think of a better map to have this match on than Asheville. Asheville is such a fundamental Highlander map at this point. We've been playing it forever. It's such a beloved map. Everyone has something to do on this map, no matter what your class is. And it's just Asheville turns into like in the same way that product turns into just a slug match where both teams just sack into each other over and over again, Asheville turns into a bit more of a nuanced thing where there's a lot more you can do as a combo member, there's a lot more you can do as a flank player. There's just so many plays that can be made on Asheville that can turn the tide one way or the other, and this map is probably going to be contested in playoffs as well by multiple teams.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias, but I'm beginning to think Asheville may be taking over KOTH as kind of a product as the default KOTH map, where you're seeing teams just play around it a lot more, be a lot more comfortable on it, see it as kind of like that comfort map, just because product can be so sniper dominated, where if your sniper has a bad day, look out. But as you said, again, likely to be contested. If we want to run down the rosters real quick, on the side of League of Lemons, they will have Wish on Scout, Demento on Soldier, Johnny from Cali on Pyro, also known as Arts, Joey Lemons on Demoman, Carson on Heavy, Hyphen on Engineer, Blake on Medic, Nixie on Sniper, and AGB on Spy.
On the side of Froggieland, we're going to be having Technomo on Scout, Freelander on Soldier, Pyrus on Pyro, Townsy on Demoman, Moist on Heavy, Exa on Engineer, Virgil on Medic, the Sar on Sniper, and Construed on Spy.
And something that I do think is worth noting here is that there have been some off-the-field happenings that we're not really going to bring up on this cast tonight, as much as some of you may be wanting that. But ultimately, it has led to what I think may be a bit of a roster upgrade for League of Lemons over when we had seen them lose to Fast Fourth back on Vigil Week, with Carson on Heavy. Just dude's a monster.
Yeah, Carson, for those who are a bit newer to the scene, like back in the days of like when Platinum in UGC was still like the king of Highlander and it meant something being, at the top of the division, Carson was a monster heavy. He was by far one of the best two heavies to play in that division at his time. He was always top two overall. And I think that seeing him return to heavy, if he can, at least get back some of that form that we saw when he was in his prime, is going to be a big upgrade for League of Lemons.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, I mean, just the rest of this roster, having not seen their Vigil match, it's still hard for me to believe that they got shut out as they did, because we're so used to seeing Nixie and AGB just completely roll over teams. And Nashville's a match I feel like AGB can get away with a lot on. So I'm really right now looking, if we want to kind of work backwards, those are the classes I'm looking at on League of Lemons right here. Looking at Carson, Nixie, AGB, because I think that, the pick classes are somewhere where they can get a really big advantage. We've been saying it for a while, though. Townsy has definitely been, his star has continued to rise over the past few seasons. I think he's really slotting in now as that top invite demo man. No long, still somewhat the new kid on the block, just because you don't see new faces all that often. But no one's surprised when he drops 550 on other invite teams anymore. As oh wow, what a good game! It's that's just Townsy, rolling people because he's good at Team Fortress 2. So I think that I've maybe it's just my own thing. I've never felt like Joey is the most explosive demo man. Really, really solid, really steady, but not as much a flair for the dramatic as some other players. And I think that maybe I'm just leaning that because Townsy has those explosive sacks, those huge moments. But I think the combos are somewhere where they can definitely fight an even footing, and it's going to be pick classes and flank that are really going to determine this.
Yeah, and everyone knows how much pick classes and flank can kind of affect Asheville as a map. And to go a bit more into that, I think that the spy matchup here is going to be interesting because both AGB and Construed have this like play style where they make a lot of solo plays happen. They are able to both use the gun. They're able to both go behind, find multi kills, do a lot of distractions, and we've seen games where both of them will just pop off and carry their teams. Asheville is one of those maps where, as a spy, sometimes you will absolutely kill everything and win for your team. Sometimes you will have the most unlucky game ever. You'll get flashed crossing mid every time, and you just won't be able to get anything done. And when you're playing, first to 4 rounds, one round where you can make the difference for your team is just so much value.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Asheville, as you're kind of alluding, it's a type of map where if the enemy team chooses to lose the game for it, they can make your spy go 2-30. It's just that type of map where when you're not getting things, it can be really easy to get caught out crossing. The decloaks aren't the best. You really need to be coordinating with your team. And you a lot of the times
compared to maps like Lakeside,
exactly,
it's definitely better. But yeah,
but again, I think that the spies definitely can show up. AGB, I feel like, is someone that I've noticed has a reputation for a little bit more of the disrespect plays, be it spawn camps or decloaking right behind people, which the fact that he's still doing it all these seasons later means they're getting away with it. So something that can really kind of put teams on tilt, give their own team a lot of momentum. One thing though that Zach and I were talking about in the pregame is that I had the pleasure of ringing for Froggieland this weekend, and big thanks to everyone there for putting up with me for 4 rounds. But one thing I noticed is that Technomo, while not really lacking in DM, is not very vocal in their comms. Townsy, huge main caller, big presence. Tech really on the quieter side, and that's something that's a little bit concerning on such a strong Koth map, where just personally, I was feeling like sometimes I wasn't sure of his positioning. The Ubers he may not have been as in on as maybe someone who talked more, and I feel like that's something that I may be looking as well to see if Wish gains kind of a scoreboard difference there, because Wish is a little bit more vocal, will call more of those Ubers, will demand more kind of team to play around him in that sense, which isn't a bad thing when your scout is so powerful on this map, but something to look forward to.
Yeah, and that's definitely something I want to be tracking personally through the matches. I want to see both teams Ubers, and I want to see what they're going to look like, because the standard Highlander Uber structure on COD is you're scouting your demo, take a duo. They go in, demo man hits people for 100 to 200, scout chips them down, and you get kills, right? If the scout is not able to be in on most of your Ubers, that damage may not get cleaned up off of. And having Townsy is one thing; he's able to put out that much damage and he gets a bunch of kills himself. But if we see Uber fights going in League of Legends' way because Wish is able to get that cleanup, then that's just going to be a big indicator of who's ahead in the match.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about the classes a bit, Zach. I'm gonna ask you for your pred.
I think this one's gonna be close. I think we're getting minimum 6 rounds, if not 7. I'm gonna go 4-2 for League of Lemons, 4-2 overall, and I think that we've seen enough of Froggieland this season where I kind of know where their strengths and weaknesses lie. The news that Technomo is not really vocal in the combo is kind of leaning me towards League of Lemons a bit more so. Where I just really like teams that are able to have decisive Ubers with calming Scout and Demo Man. I think it's really strong. It's always been really strong in Highlander, and Ashel's one of the maps where you can make a lot of use of it. I also think on paper the roster for League of Legends looks a bit stronger with their class lineup for this map specifically. I think that when Sniper matters a bit less than on most COTS, anything going there is going to be negated a bit, even though SAR's been really, really strong in SVS across the whole season. I feel like Nixie's going to match up just fine and never be a liability. And I just feel like overall they're going to be ahead coming into the match, so 4-2.
I'm also predding League of Lemons, but put it in chat, locked it in. I'm going 4-3. I think that, having had that firsthand experience, I'm in agreement with you that I think League of Lemons is probably the better team, especially on this map. But I do think that Froggieland has a really solid game plan down when they're able to execute it, where, SAR gets on fans, their engineer completely dedicated to just protecting him on there, forces the other team into that SVS. Townsy able to do a ton of damage, good roof control, just solid game plan all around. Construed, I thought, had a really good performance. Both, getting those a lot of revolver kills, but also found those knife kills when they were needed. Sometimes a spy will be like, oh, I'm feeling the gun. And then all they do is they just sit in the back line and wait to clean up on someone else's damage. And it's like, well, that's great, but what if your team needs that 9v9 frag to start things off? And he wasn't afraid of going for those and would find them pretty frequently. So looking at Conster to have, a big game tonight. But again, ultimately I do think that League of Legends is the better team. And I think Froggy struggles when, things don't go their way right off the bat. Where if they lose the mid fight, it may take them a little bit longer to retake than some other teams. Should people start bleeding, not as much of a chance for that miracle hold, but we'll see how it turns out as both teams are readied up.
Yep, 15 minutes after, just before, so we're going to be going on time here for Highlander, and it's going to be Froggieland starting out on red, and it's going to be the side of League of Lemons on blue. We'll see how the mid-fight rolls out. Both demos exchanging stakes. Townsy goes pretty low, actually. Needs to get an arrow from his med, or just get beamed up for now. Bomb over the top from Jacob, going to be in the backlines. Freelander, though, not so lucky. Going to get shut down on the roof, and with Technomo and Constru getting killed immediately, this fight is going in favor of League of Lemons.
Yeah, lots dead already. Only Johnny and Wish dead. Some low health gamers on the side of League of Lemons, but not nearly enough. There's quite a few dead gamers on the side of Froggieland. AGB going to come in, get the SAR, and gets out as well. Big escape right there as a very clean mid. Jacob, huge bomb. Faked like he was going all the way behind into lobby, turned around, killed Technomo instantly. No scout right off the bat, really going to hurt your mid fights. And now Froggieland on the back foot. Even Ubers, though, have to see what they do.
Yeah, looks like they're grouping up towards Shutter. Townsy's calling for the Uber out, I see, and they're going to use it across. Technomo takes an early flash as well. Uber in response to from Blake. Solo onto Joey Lemon, so it's a much better Uber for the Lemons here, and they get an SVS win courtesy of Nixie, so ahead in the Uber exchange, the only casualty was that SVS. Everyone else still alive. Ooh, what a shot by Nixie onto the scout, takes him down off bats, and that's just a really decisive defense.
Yeah, I just saw hyphen in the kill people, remembering that that's an engineer now, not a medic, so...
Knee moment from last week.
Yeah,
Jacob going over the top. There's a lot of damage onto Virgil. Almost takes her down. Townsy going to go down in the meantime, though, so they do get that pick that they want over the top. That said, Sar finds a good counter kill onto Carson, that heavy now with a long spawn timer.
Oh, Jacob with the tactical pencil bomb finds 3, going over the middle sheet right there. And the entirety of ramp there gets nuked. They had that kill onto Carson on heavy, but when all of your ramp squad goes down instantly, nothing you can do to really capitalize on that. But Jacob now still going in even deeper. Where was that? Finds Virgil, goes down, but you take that med, no problem. Looks like that was right outside or inside of Shutter, so full ad now for Blake. Virgil just spawning. Things really not going in Froggieland's favor here.
Yeah, this round is all League of Lemons so far. They're going to have to do a sack play. They need to get this Uber out of Blake as fast as they can. Pick onto Constru, some counter espionage action, so they do have that to work with. Jacob goes up top on the roof, going to take down the mini center. Lose half his health, and there's the sack over the top. Explosive classes do a lot of damage onto Blake and do get that force that they wanted, so at least they have that going for them as we go into a pause. Did not win last week, so we're starting early now.
Yep, absolutely. As, gotta wonder, looking at the timing, 90 seconds in the future, what goes on. But we'll assume that Froggieland doesn't get shut out this round, as they will now have ad. Virgil should be all the way back, I would assume, in lobby right now, but doesn't look like Joey's going to really be able to catch her, barring any really unforeseen tragedies occurring.
So, speaking of unforeseen tragedies, I see an Uber Jacob going over bats right now. If he hits a pencil jump, and so let's say he has 3 rockets later, right, because he used 1 to jump, he pogo jumps off of this to get into lobby, 2 rockets on Virgil's head, right? I can see it happening.
I would be more expecting he goes all the way back to spawn and pinches her at the Shutter.
That'd be a Jacob move. That's spy main thinking, right?
That's absolutely. I would absolutely see Jacob doing that.
Yeah, that's spy main
Looking
thinking.
at his angle, if he hits this kind of sharp angle strafe into the pogo and doesn't clip his toes on the stairs up from Shutter, I would be very impressed by his jumping
it'd be
ability.
sick. It'd be an amazing kill, and we're hyping it up, so it's definitely not going to happen. But yeah, like we've been saying, Uber ad now being had by Virgil, it's going to be about 55% by the time Blake's runs out and he can start charging again. So they will have a chance in the round. Timer has kept going because that's how pauses work. It's still about a minute 10, I think, left on the clock for League of Lemons.
15 or so.
Yeah, so there's still some time for Froggy to get going. I want to see them, like you said, not get shut out this round, start getting something, because we get it, it's Koth, a mid-fight goes bad, you lose your medic to a single soldier. Rounds kind of shot, right, in your mind. Obviously, maybe you come back, but you want to just show that you can be competitive in a round, right, and just say that, fluke mid, fluke medic pick, whatever, we can come back. But yeah, if they get shut out here and can't even make a full Uberad push work, then I'd be worried.
Yeah. Yeah, they finally have something in there, you know, kind of in their control. And again, I think the Froggy almost reminded me of a, going to be a bit abstract, but there's a somebody help type team when I rang for them, where they weren't super fast. They weren't a furious team. They were much more kind of slower and methodical, where maybe they took a little bit more time than some other teams might to execute on it, but usually their execution was solid. Meaning that losing Virgil in lobby like that really sets them back, because they're not that team that's going to stop on a dime and, you know, 8-man aggro you the second they lose their med. Needs to be a little bit slower, a little bit more prepared. So now they do have that ad. You know, the Uber should probably be, feels like it's gone on forever, but we don't really know what it's at. Well, yeah, it's at 46, so it's about halfway
46.
done. But they'll have that, you know, it's going to be Lemons on the defense. See how they take it, because if they can, I don't think they're going to win this round.
Froggy,
but if they can, or
Froggy, you mean?
Froggy, yeah, Froggy's not going to win this round, I don't think. But if they can execute on this push, get the point, hold it for a bit, right, minute and a half, kind of get their groove back, then I think that will bode good things for the future of this round. Oh, Wish telling me that AFK. Oh, no, that was before. No, I thought Wish was AFK, which was the reason for the pause, but yeah, that was prior to the match.
Dolphin just said in chat that he has gotten word that's attack pause. If that's true, then then that says a couple things. One, it means that the round theoretically ends soon-ish. Like pause take 90 seconds, right? So we're theoretically done with the round 1 in a minute and a half. Meanwhile, they weren't very optimistic about Froggy's chances in this round, but when they had a minute 15 left on the clock for it to end in 90 seconds, that would mean that
15 seconds of overtime?
Shutout. Yeah, with 15 seconds of overtime, it's pretty much a shutout. So we'll see if that actually comes true. Could be someone trolling, could be whatever, but if that really is the case, then yeah, it would be a tac pause. And let's be honest, right? Tac pauses are underused in TF2 just because no one wants to be that guy who tac pauses whenever they lose a round. But I think that after taking a round loss like that, when this is a match that you'd very much like to win, I think it's pretty fine.
No, I'm absolutely in agreement. And especially, it's not like, oh, we lost a double overtime or we just got edged out a bit by a better team.
Yeah, this is very something about the game plan.
You look really out of sorts. You're really out of sorts. Things really aren't going according to plan. Nothing's going right. You got to take this, slow everything down, you know, reset your mental, and just, you know, make sure that everyone's doing exactly what they need to be on this next mid, because yeah, this, assuming that, you know, they do end up getting shut out and this is attack pause, ugly loss, but you come back in, you win the mid, you forget that really quickly.
You know, if it starts becoming we just got word we're gonna be unpausing soon, so I'll save that thought for later. But right now we do see Jacob in the sky. I want to see where he ends up going here, because he could just go straight on the medic. I see Joey's in Shutter, gonna likely try to lob some stickies toward Virgil. Here we go, Jacob. He is going towards spawn, like you said. Is he undetected? He's undetected. 1, 2. Misses the last rocket.
I'm so smart.
There you go.
I'm so smart.
Yeah, that's Jacob making a fantastic play there. And
no,
guess we're paused again. Glad we got to see that though.
I bet they unpaused and someone wasn't ready on Lemons, and now they have to unpause.
Oh wait, sorry, someone's in the bathroom this time. Prediction did come true, so
I can't believe no one backed out with her. Well, Moist, I think, is trying.
He's trying, but he's a heavy, right? He can't do it.
Jacob...
Apparently, yeah, the unpause caused Jacob's game to immediately crash, so he's gonna be loaded back in. Team Fortress 2.
Yep, 15-year-old engine, by the way. I mean, the thing is, though, is that even if you're Virgil, right, if you're leaving with your heavy, don't run in front of him.
Yeah, just...
Like, if it would be one thing, right, if Joey Lemons was halfway through lobby, chasing it back, right, then you say, okay, well, yeah, maybe I get ganked when I open this shutter. That's a pretty low percentage, and it's much lower than dying to the demo man walking at me, but no one's there. You don't even have to leave, really. You broke beam to do that.
Yeah, a bit of a lack of either foresight or like awareness in the moment cost Virgil her life there, and yeah, that's probably why they decided to call the attack pause. Because if you think what's going to happen right now, I'll help you in a second. I believe we're about like 55 seconds into the round here. They're going to get maybe one more Uber before the round, and so far they've gotten a single kill with their Uber charge, and they have only gotten one. So when that happens, you're just not
just under a minute, 56, 55. And yeah, but they can get one more Uber, but it's going to be even. Right, no longer going to be that ad. No longer them in the driver's seat. Gonna have to try to make something out of nothing. And Wish picks off Sar, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive. Will burn out, so they do get the trade. But look at this aggro hold coming out of the sniper's dead.
Almost kills Nixie. Nixie loses the 1 HP. Moist gonna lose his life to the heavy in the Shudder, and this is just a forward hold right now going on. They're holding the enemy Shudder. Townsy peeks out a bit too far, and Carson shreds him on the peak. So off with that. It's only counter kill comes in the form of Johnny. They can try to work with it. Good reflect from Pyrus though. Make some space.
Blake is so close, but he has Uber, so he's just gonna have to use on Carson here, who is the rev animation's not loading from him, so he's just slowly walking and shooting at people. Blake gonna get forced now as Moist comes out of Shudder, looks to pinch him. Carson getting blown. No, he's gonna take out Pyrus, Moist, Exa, Freelander, Tech, all going down. Virgil's gonna get stabbed at 97, and that is the round. And yeah, that's something I think you're completely justified in taking attack pause for. Team look completely out of sort. Need to get that reset in. Go over everything. Make sure everyone knows what they're doing. There's Jacob's crash. One thing I will say though, I really like the decisiveness out of Froggieland. Wish traded with Sar. And immediately they said, alright, forward hold on barrels, because the thing that's going to break that forward hold on barrels is the sniper going fast, taking the wide angle. No sniper, it's very easy to maintain that hold as long as Sar's dead. Carson, though, going to be the first one dead on this map.
Yeah, Froggy playing a lot more aggressive than they were before. They try to get a lot of people forward. Freelanders jump straight over into lobby, and they're going to have a lot of kills early on. Wish, AGB, Nixie, all going to go down to that pressure coming from Froggy. So, attack pause pays off. They are way more aggressive on mid, and they roll it.
Attack pause, stonks rising. As, yeah, super clean. I mean, the second you lose your heavy on mid, things look really bad. I think at that point, you either got to go balls to the walls aggro and just try to blitz them down before, their heavy even has a chance to rev. Or you just probably say, alright, we're probably not going to win this, and back out. And Lemon's got caught somewhere in between, but, Blake heads up enough to get out
Blake's
there.
out, to their credit, and they're going to use this Evo charge now onto the point. Solo right onto Moist. Going to have to flash Townsy a bit. Meanwhile, Joey did get a solo until the very end, so Uber is going to end slightly in favor of Froggy. No one goes down directly in the Uber, but on the side, Jacob gets 2 big kills into Exa and SARS, so...
Huge bomb! Jacob's coming in, and it's not going to take out Virgil on its own, but Nixie on ramp. She gets knocked into the sightline, goes down. That is the perfect cleanup you're looking for from League of Lemon.
Yep, able to just get forward, get that med pick, and now Uber Leapfrog goes in their favor. They get their cap, only 40 seconds down in time, so definitely still cooking in the round. You see right now, Pon shoots in behind, gonna be looking to make something work here. With Blake having full ad, you gotta wonder if they're gonna dry push out and just try to get a med pick, or if they want to just wait till Blake has Uber and go for a force. It does look like Townsend's getting aggressive on bats here, so I think they're just gonna dry it and see what they can get. Pirates over the roof though, does some damage, has to back off. Pipe's going in. Townsend's landing a lot of damage, and they do force the back out here from Blake as he's taken down to 60 HP.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to go back in, and here comes in the collapse from Jacob and Joey. Virgil too far out, goes down. They get 1 frag with the Uber, and that's all they need. Only Blake and Joey Lemons alive. Doesn't matter. The easiest 3v9 Uber you've ever seen.
That's such an interesting play from Lemons there, right? Because they're only 5 up at that moment. The players they have happen to be Jacob, and he just calls a bomb. I'm guessing it's him, right? He wants to call the bomb over the top onto the med who's standing overextended on the point. If you're Virgil, you never think that's coming, right? Why would they use their Uber right there when they have 5 up and already lost the point? But the answer is to get you. So, and they end up doing that. Now Ubers are back in favor of Blake, who didn't have to wait for a respawn timer to start charging.
Yeah, just really solid play coming out of Lemons right now. The mid going in the favor, they still have the point. And they're playing better, right? Froggy is playing no height. Virgil, yeah, just gets. I think she got knocked up and landed on a roller and goes down. And the rough night for Virgil continues as that hold again. They get more time off. They're still in the time lead, but Blake has Uber. The recap coming in from Lemons. I think you're going to need at least 1 sack whip to get that Uber respawn, go back through. Probably going to be about even on the time at the earliest before Froggieland takes this back.
Yeah, the drive pressure got them that time off the clock because Blake didn't have Uber yet. Now that they have Uber on Lemon's side, we're likely to see them hold aggressive like they did in that round 1. That's what they do. They just walk up to the Shudder. They're doing some damage. Construed not able to get behind there, so not going to be any impact coming from him. Sack over from Townsy trying to find this medic, but they do get the force into Blake. A lot of good damage landed by him and Freelander, so that force does come out. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. That time about to tick in favor of Lemons, and Wish getting a really cheeky kill on Sar. Moist threw his banana down on Sar's now dead body, and it's a nice little grave marker. But yep, they do have ad. Virgil up on 80%, and this will be, I believe, their first full ad Uber. of the match so far. Aggro play right now coming out from Lemons, so you gotta be careful Blake doesn't get caught out right there, but Jacob going in onto Freelander, hits him up really low. Yeah, but oh, Townsy coming in, finds Blake and Nixie. Johnny gonna get stabbed, that Uber comes out, it is clean. The glow stick from Hyphen not gonna find anything. Construed takes him out, but Jacob in from the back finds his mark. Virgil has been on a respawn timer for the majority of this match at Jacob's hands and continues that trend right there as he finds the med. And so again, they don't even, Virgil actually will spawn, no need to delay. But what a performance right now from Jacob. Finds her on a dime. On a whim? On a whim.
Yeah, anytime he wants to, he gets that med pick, and now it's going to be slight advantage for Virgil because they didn't have the point, so about to respawn in just a little bit faster. In the meantime, they will get the time lead by the time Lemons do walk out here. Joey goes really aggressive on Shutter and just gets demolished by Townsy. That's going to stall any aggression they can put forward for the next 10 or so seconds. Jacob goes over, does a lot of damage to Pyro, is popped up into a body shot, so going to be down to Pyro. Jacob says, no Pyro, I'm going in. That time he is denied, but the distraction made Moist walk into Nixie's sightline.
Oh, crits for Virgil. She's going to pop off here. I was wondering how she had ad. Walking into bed, but Townsy gets obliterated. Crit Scattergun going to find Johnny, but Tech goes down as well. Nixie gets stabbed. Virgil running for her life at 60 HP. The crits there, not the best use, I don't think.
Yeah, it feels like they didn't even know where Blake was. I get why they did it, right? They say we have crits, we cannot let Blake get Uber here. Constru doesn't even care for the medic here. Tries to go in on the demo, but gonna be spotted, doesn't get anything. But yeah, that crits, it feels like they were just desperate to get any use out of it, but they kind of just ignore the part we have to find the medic, and it cost them. So now they're stuck on Crits Creek and crits into Uber. Not a fun time if you played the game before.
Yeah, did Virgil go back? I think she might have. Nope, still on crits. 70%, so they're gonna have to hope they get this drop here. 30 seconds left, and you know, all those eggs in that basket. Blake playing back. They can maybe use the pressure here, right? Knowing that Blake wants to play back, doesn't want to get caught in that angle. As now Virgil up on crits. They find Wish, so that's one down. Crits comes out. Blake uses it in ahead of time. AGV in. Gonna get taken out by Townsy. Surfs away from that. But Freelander take no more. Both dead. So 7v7. But now more numbers for Lemons, even again with the stab on Nixie. Pyrus on point and Construed, yeah. Finding kills, they have some point time, but that Wrangled Mini doing so much.
Yeah, the Wrangled Mini and then Carson, just the heavy engineer hit scan, just cleaning up everything onto the point. They get a couple kills between them. Wish comes in, gets some cleanup as well. Townsy not back fast enough. And that's going to be a 2-0 in favor of League of Lemons right now. That round coming down to the wire, but in the end, the crits kind of betrays them. They have two Crits Creeks that get zero value.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got 2 kills with they got at least a kill with the crits.
Yeah,
might have been on a spy.
Killing the pushing scout on the first one, and then killing the spy with the second one, right? Those are like the least valuable kills you could ever get with that. So the crits is really just do nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, I respect the thought process behind it, right? Clearly something's not working. You know, let's try crits, maybe change it up, maybe that'll mix things up, but I don't think it did. That said, though, right, we're starting to see Froggieland come together a bit.
I disagree with swapping to crits at that moment. Like, okay, me and Alto are proponents of crits on Koth when like the moment is right, whenever you feel like you need something to upset the balance of the match. I feel like Froggy were in that round without crits. Like, yeah, they had a couple more. Demento getting 2 kills onto Virgil was like, it's a thing that made the round difficult for them. That said, they played mid extremely well. They got a lead off that. They played the dry push onto Blake extremely well. Got a minute off that. They only needed 1 minute left off the clock, and they could have just chose to build the Uber and bank on winning, you know, Uber v Uber exchange. But they didn't even want to try it, right? They just said, our meds died twice in a row, go crits. It's like the emergency fallback came when they were panicking, when I didn't think they had a reason to. I feel like they could have tried to play out a bit normally. You know, crits when you feel desperate is something you pull out, not really when you're down 1-0. 1-0 is kind of early, especially when you're competitive in the round, so I guess it's something they've rehearsed, they practiced it in this moment, they want to go crits, but I can't see the thought process behind it in that moment.
I mean, let me be clear. I don't see the thought process behind the crits itself, but I see a team who's struggling, probably tilting a bit because they're unable to protect their medic, saying, something has to change. What's the easiest thing we can change? Okay, go crits. You know what I mean? Not like, oh yes, judging by the situation, crits will be effective here. No, we got to change some variable. This is the most controllable one.
Yeah, and if my team's tilting after 0-1, then I'm not sure how the rest of the match is going to go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if that really is the case, I can't put much stock into Froggie's gameplay going forward here. But if that's just like a thing that they had planned out and it happened to not work and they're going to go back to playing normally, I think they'll just be better off doing that. I feel like if you take the first round where their med died on repeat and then they also got roll on mid and got basically perfect held, if you take that round out, right, we only watched the second round, they don't actually look that bad. The worst thing is the fact that Virgil is a walking respawn timer whenever Demento snaps his fingers, right? But that's a lot easier of a fix than saying we should change our entire playstyle on crits, so I want to see what they do here. Like, I really think if they play normally, they can get some rounds.
We saw how clean their mid was last time, and I'm going to be looking on them to do that again, because I think if they can pull that off, then it'll give them, you know, that good foothold into the round. But both demos spamming each other out right now. Joey hit up pretty low, going to be reliant on that arrow. Pouncy a little bit healthier, but Joey does get the arrow. As Virgil have been playing in secret. Wish can be the first one to go down right here. Jacob kills himself on the bomb, but good damage coming in from both sides. Frags going back and forth slightly in favor of Lemons right now. And yeah, Sar going down. Going to be the big one there. No sniper to prevent this cap. You know, stall out the Asheville Pug mid. So going to be a mid fight there for League of Lemons. You know, not as dominant as either of the past two mids from both teams. A little bit more methodical, but just better picks on the side of Lemons.
Yeah, Nick's really did find the decisive kills in that fight, taking on his sniper opposition and the engineer. Gave his team numbers advantage and just was a big threat, so able to get the mid off of that. Now both teams on Uber. We're going to be seeing League of Lemons at Uber v Uber. Pirates goes down. They get forced in lobby. AGB, I think he just walked at them with a revolver and forced their Uber entirely, so it's a freebie coming out here from League of Lemons. They're going to try to clean up kills, and they do get Townsy and more.
Oh, sorry, there you go!
To the sight line. Sar hits a 1 second shot onto Blake before he can dip behind cover. That's big for giving his team momentum.
That was what I was talking about before, right? That forward hold countered by the sniper wide peeking bats. Sar has the timing perfectly right as the Ubers fade. Blake just half a second too late backing out. Sar finds the angle, takes his head off. We'll go down to Nixie and Concert picked as well, so no med. AGB in, they will turn in time. Gonna feign out, actually, as a Blake finds himself a
Townsy
frag.
walks into a sticky
Really
trap and
Townsy.
dies.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they're going to be down Devilman here. Don't look now, but X is tired of Demento, so he puts a level 2 on the ramp.
Yeah, desperate times.
Doesn't matter though, Jacob says screw ramp. I'm gonna go bats and take down Technomo and Virgil again. Jacob just gets every med pick he could ever want and more.
Yeah, that's bad bats too.
We're getting silly here. Sar says, you can do that, I can do it too. Takes down Blake off his respawn. Medics aren't allowed to live on Asheville.
That's the medic torture chamber. The the no good, very bad stat line for both medics kind of coming into play here right now. As you know, but Virgil on the faster spawns, Blake on the much longer one. All this chaos benefits the attacking team. Froggy now getting on point should pull the cap in, and they're pretty content to just sit happy on this. And 2 minutes down, but they've got a hold set up. Everyone's where they need to be. Construct spawning. They know Jacob and Wish are going to be behind. That's a bit of a detached battlement on the fence. Great shot by Sar.
Yeah, gets him right for his head, dips below the cover. Axe's level 2's turned into a level 3, and it's guarding barrels. So they really don't want Jacob to bomb their medic on ramp. We'll see how much effect this gun actually has, as I do believe Jacob's going to go for the bomb anyway. He's in the skybox. Run rocket, reflective, bear reflector. He gets it anyway! Oh, that was a reflect pipe from Johnny! The reflect pipe across hits the sentry gun, I think, and debts onto Virgil! That's insane! 96% Uber death!
Alright, Froggy need to pause and call, like, a priest.
It really needs to be replaced.
You need to get some sort of spiritual leader to exorcise whatever demons are haunting Virgil right now.
Yeah,
because
I can't imagine, right? The first
you finally reflect the Demento bomb, and she dies to a reflect pipe?
That splashes a sentry gun that you surfed into.
Oh, I mean, at that point, honestly, I might just go quick fix too. There's no way I'm living to get an Uber. Maybe if I go to something that builds faster, I'll come up with a charge. Like, that's... I can't blame anyone now getting tilted off that. That is a divine sign that you are not meant to win this match.
If there's any medic that knows about getting killed by reflect pipes across the map, it's all the
Bye, Johnny! Bye, Johnny! On a golf match!
Johnny! That's so funny!
Oh.
He's the king. Yeah, but it will be now small Uber for Virgil coming out here because of that faster spawn, and Blake did use one of League of Lemons here. But that said, 30 seconds on the clock. Froggieland gets forward, and they do have a kill onto AGB to work with. They're going to get this the mini killed right now, and with faster spawns, they are able to take the cap for now. Blake's still charging Uber.
Yeah, Uber, again, they're bringing in, and like, despite some of the comedy deaths we've seen come out, Froggie's disadvantaged in this run, but they're not entirely out of it. If they can prevent any more tragedies, which, you know, haven't really been able to stop one yet.
Yeah, signs point to no, but what points to yes is Saw over here, posted up, just taking out
good defense, and there's Joey exploded in Shutter, great trap. He was used just a little bit late.
Johnny just guns down Townsy. He just walks at him, kills him, and
Virgil
leaves.
don't have to use here. That was exactly what the call was don't use. So they trade Townsy in exchange for keeping the Uber, which I think is a good...
It's a good trade.
That's a pretty good trade right there. Sorry though, gonna go down to Nixie. As will Technoma, it's a little bit too aggro. You can't use your demo, then proceed to drop players like this. You need your scout to be that secondary Uber target here. Once you lose your demo. And using Umpyrus a second too late, Joey finds the pirate, the pirate kill. And Jacob denied on the ceiling by Freelander. Shuts down that bomb. He will live, but now they're losing point control, forced back, and I mean, great decision making to drop Townsy for the Uber, but then you can't lose your scout, pyro, and sniper in quick succession.
Is this the ramp repush? This is the ramp repush. This is forbidden in the text of Asheville. Whenever you repush from ramp, it's because you really want to get onto point fast here, but we see Moist eats 250 damage on a headshot and then dies. The ramp repush not looking so good, boys. Uber coming out here to deny anyone on the point. Joey goes up on top, takes down Townsy with the help of Carson, and that's the round going to be 3-0 in favor of League of Lemons.
The Asheville Shamans are cursing Froggieland's bloodline for that repush right there.
That Virgil death to the reflect pipe after surfing Demento's second rocket into the sentry gun is like one of the goofiest medic deaths I've seen since I played with you. Like, that's insane.
I'm glad that's my legacy. Guy who talks for RGL and dies really funny. Townsy forced into lower.
That's unusual.
To get a pack, they're really trying to mix up anything here.
He says, I'll make the best
Townsy
of
just
it.
walking. Virgil gets sniped, doesn't care, finds Nixie, but you lose your med like that, I don't think things are going to go too well. If there's ever been a reason to be mental boomed, I think Froggieland might have it right now.
Yeah, things have not gone their way at all this match. It's been to a comedic effect how bad things have gone. Constellation kill onto Carson takes him down, but point gonna be capped up? Yeah, capped up.
They cap it.
Spawn.
Thank you. Can I get on my soapbox for a sec? For the longest time, lower div teams did not know what delaying the point for a spawn was. Now, I'll ring for like an IM team, and we'll be capping, and they'll go, delay for engineer! Delay for engineer!
Yeah, that might be a bit too much on the needle. Delaying for a couple key players is good, but just for one heavy, one engineer,
they
the time's worth
Carson
more.
there, that's fine. Take the time, take the positioning. Don't give them that window to get back in.
Him behind, he gets seen out immediately. Not gonna get his pick there. Yeah, sometimes the time is worth more than your engineer being a couple seconds faster. But that said, Nixie posted up, gonna take down Moist. In the meantime, though, AGB gonna lose his life, so both teams missing a pick class. Townsy gets too aggressive into the Strider and gets sticky bombed by some traps. It's gonna be a solo onto Technomo now. That's a bit unusual, and it's just not gonna get anything. Freelander and Technomo both just die. Uber gets absolutely nothing because of Townsy dying to the sticky trap.
Yeah, a couple times we've seen that so far, honestly. Joey died to it last round. I think there's at least one other time we saw a demo go down to sticky trap as well, but...
Townsy's had it happen twice now, and both times I believe it was like when they wanted to actually exchange, so... It's been pretty bad for his team overall, and now because of that, they don't even get the force out of Blake, so they're gonna go to the top. Blake,
that's gonna go force.
But yeah, they're gonna get the force. Both spies getting a kill here, as well as Freelander getting cleaned up, but as long as they got the force, that's kind of what they wanted here, so... Froggy will have a chance here. They have 50% ad going forward. They're losing players now, but that's fine to get the spawners up. This is the last chance. They're down 3-0. This is the last round. If you lose this round, you are going third place at best, guaranteed, for the regular season. So, let's see what they have.
I think there's a distinct change in the tone of this match, since Blake forward holding on Shutter alone with Carson while his Pyro is back on ramp. Gets the force off, but like you're holding there without a Pyro, you're saying, okay, I'm going to force to the first person that comes at me, and they do, but... Doesn't look like it matters because Virgil had died to something.
Sniper from ramp, aggressive
angle. Okay. I saw Nixie on there, and I just did not.
Yeah, he pushed into enemy ramp, and Sniper was going through that doorway. That said, Blake died to a sniper, so you know the medic torture chamber continues at least.
Sar, I mean, fighting a valiant fight, even if his team is crumbling around him.
Yep, and now both teams pushing without the use of heals. Will be actually Virgil back up, buffing up the heavy, and the player advantage plus the spawn is gonna let them at least get the cap. We see Jacob in the backline, 1 rocket, 1 HP surf out from Virgil. That time Jacob does not find his player, and that one's gonna be at least Virgil staying alive for a bit longer, something we have not seen very often.
Print that one out for the fridge. Is that the first time Virgil's lived a bomb?
Lived the Jacob bomb? Maybe.
Honestly, that might be true, and that's an uncomfortable question for me to have to answer in the waning moments of an entire cross match.
Yep, that said, 40% ad here for Virgil and Froggieland. They do have the point. They have all their players up except for Soldier. He'll be up soon. Jacob goes for the sniper, almost hits the air shot, but they will get him out alive. Jacob now fighting bats with AGB, trying some work. In the meantime, Carson peeks up front, and they do take down Moist. It's going to be Uber now. Solo onto Townsy, see what he can do. Finds good damage, takes down Carson and Joey. They do let the Pyro and Medic escape, though. Blake has 80% being chased down. Freelander needs this pick. 1 rocket reflected by Johnny. Great denial there, and now Blake's going to have the full Uber.
Yeah, that chase can't feel like it came a little bit too late. He goes in 1 or 2 seconds later. Maybe lands right on her head, and Johnny not able to deny that so easily, but a little bit delayed, and I mean, can't blame them.
Yeah, this is the game right here. Jacob goes over too early, immediately dies. Joey jumps in with the Uber shard, gets some flashes, Wish is well going to take some. They don't actually get kills with this yet, and Joey gets sniped in post. All of a sudden, Froggy look like they can make a contest happen here.
Yeah, coming back in, and there is Constert finding Nixie and Carson, which goes down as well. So they will deny this cap coming in. Blakey, excuse me, gonna get out with his life, but not without the point. And Froggy, never say die, or putting up a bit of an alamo here in the last, what could be match point.
Yep, another full 100% Uber for Virgil and Froggy right here. Blake only on 50, so they'll be able to defend for a bit longer. Looks like they want a dry push because they're just walking off bats here. Jacob's going underneath. A lot of damage to Jake no more. They get forced here. They need to get some kills here. One pipe onto Blake. Blake is low. So low. There's a spy body walking her, and Townsy finds the pipe. Gonna get that kill. Doubles up onto Carson as well. So big kill from Townsy in that Uber. That's exactly what Froggy needed.
Yeah, and maybe they're finally activating here. We're seeing Virgil lives 1 bomb in the switch.
Yeah, it turns. The curse is lifted. Now it's on Blake.
Oh, is this the reverse sweep? The reverse sweep, perhaps?
Bit early to be talking about it like that. That said, I'd say they definitely have a good shot at winning this round now. They have Uber at once again. They need to make 1 more defense happen. Blake can get an Uber before the round ends, so I'm gonna see if they actually do a sack here to try and get Virgil's Uber, or maybe even a kill. Otherwise, it's going to come down to 1 last Uber exchange.
Yep, AGB behind. Already killed X. They're going to come up onto bats.
They're
probably
bleeding.
find Freelander. No, goes down. Going to get taken up by Constert. Some counter-espionage action, but Technomo, Pyrus, and Moist all went down on point. Uber comes out. Townsy gets skied, but the cap does get delayed. They are just going to completely bail out of that is Lemons. So the cap was stopped, but the frags are in their favor right now. Bit of an awkward spot right now as well. Here comes in... Oh, Jacob thought that was a bomb. No, it goes and lands in lower.
Blake on 99. They're going to have Uber right now for League of Lemons. Froggy has to repel a full Uber disad push. Here it goes. Uber Shutter Hyphen gets skyboxed. Joey Lemons does a lot of damage. Gets flagged just in time, but Jacob and Johnny are down. Flank classes are getting kills. Nixie does get one, but with Townsy getting the Uber at the end, takes down Joey. Carson goes down, so does Nixie. The Alamo has been held for now as it's just Hyphen, and that's going to be a round going back in favor of Froggy.
They just needed 1. They just needed 1 bomb to fail.
Yeah, that's it. Jacob didn't get the medic 1 time, and now they lose.
I can't believe Jacob cost them this round.
Yeah, Jacob not doing enough work there on that one. We need to see more med picks from you, buddy. But yeah, now going into 3-1. This is still match point for the side of League of Lemons. They have a lot more chances to do it, but now momentum kind of swinging towards Frog. We'll see if they can run mid.
Oh, no. Virgil down already, though. Nixie finds her. Nixie gonna lose the SBS. If they play fast, maybe something happens. But no, Freelander coming in, pops up Blake, but only gonna get the 1 rocket. Valiant effort. Sar finds another kill onto Wish. Jacob goes down. So as long as Sar can sit on ramp here, it's gonna be difficult for Lemons to really get
They're
too
scared.
much cap time.
They don't want to kick him at all. It doesn't miss the shot, though, so they're gonna be able to walk forward and get the cap. AGB kind of harassing the sniper, but does get shot down by a Townsy Sticky. So mid-fight does go in favor of League of Lemons, and Blake staying alive means that they will have pretty big Uber advantage coming forward. Contrib is behind. I think they want to go for a sack onto Blake, or at least that's what's being called here. Otherwise, I don't know what Contrib position here. So they're going to go over the top. Explosive classes. Blake has a spawn him. He's just going to insta-pop. Not even going to risk it.
Yep, they got the force out. Virgil, excuse me, now sitting on 50 ad right here. So time in favor of Lemons, but they can build up, get back in here, take a decent lead in this round. But they really want to try to kill Blake on the Uber.
High bombing on the sniper, it does a lot of damage. He gets a double kill. Great job by Jacob there to go high so high they couldn't see him. Takes down 2 before pushing him in half. And now Virgil, 80%. Look at those players that don't want to go, but getting aggressive right now are League of Lemons. They want to pressure the shutter.
Yeah, sticks there. I like that sticky position on the side rather than
yeah, because the Pyro air blast down when he opens the shutter immediately, right? So he's not going to
Jacob goes in though, doesn't find Virgil, only finds a respawn timer waiting for him in lobby, as Virgil now having, but Blake already on 75. They have to use sooner or else they're going to lose their ad, and Blake is just gone.
AGB's in the back. He has the medic in his sights. He's not going to get there in time. Doesn't get the drop there, and the cap goes up for 3 now. They don't even have to use their Uber right now, so that's what happens when you back up too early out of Asheville and you know you're at Uber this side. You want to get the force, and Joey tries now, but he gets sticky on the shutter. There's Jacob in the back lines, hits a good rocket, and they do get that force out. Blake, 100% Uber, though. They are chasing down. Blake already long gone, so now full Uber at going in favor of League of Lemons.
Yeah. Yeah, just a good sack gets that Uber out. It almost feels like we haven't even seen Lemons need to sack at this point. Virgil's just been in such a, you know, bad state of events that they've never had point with the Uber where something terrible didn't happen immediately afterwards. But now it's going to have to see how they defend against this. If
Freelander high bombing.
Get out of the leapfrog.
Doesn't find the med. They're going to pop through shutter instead.
Great deny on Joey. He's gone.
Though. Yeah, good denial there from Pirates to keep most of their players in the combo alive. The flankers and the heavy do go down, too slow to get out. Johnny hits a 2K, but again, Virgil alive, going to be having that Uber advantage. Leapfrog continues. That said, time in favor of League of Lemons and extending.
Yep, they come right back in on it, but Virgil already on 80, so if she's able to get right back in and they use this Uber, the leapfrog I think works a little bit better in their favor. You know, so long as no meds die in the immediate future. Freelander trying to push ramp, gonna get forced off. Good jump in from Jacob to deny that ground. Sar now can't take that angle either, where he's found so many kills this
Jacob
match.
wants an arrow so bad. He does get it. A lot of damage down onto Moist. Jacob sees it. He just goes off and finds a free heavy pick.
Such a heads-up play.
Yeah, now Virgil 100%. They're going to pop across point now. Townsend take number, get the duo, trying to get some damage down, but they are long gone. What a coordinated back out. Everyone jumped out who could, and the players who can't were already gone. Uber gets no kills.
Everyone except Nixie.
Yeah, Nick, the snipers
who didn't get the memo there. But, oh, wow. Townsy, Tech, and Freelander all dying in this post. Just an overextension. Blake, they took so long, already comes up on Uber. Gonna use back in. That's almost a wipe. Virgil gets out, but that's about it. 8-man down.
Yeah, that Uber got nothing. They were desperate to find any picks they could. They tried bombing in onto Bats, but great reflect again by Arts. Johnny just hits so many good reflects all the time. And Blake's dead, though. Townsy just does so much damage, and with Freelander, the explosives do work. They get 4 picks on the overextenders.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an ego play, maybe coming out of Lemons, as they're going to let Froggy back into this match. Full Uber ad and the point. I mean, they're down over a minute and a half, but we saw them be able to pull out a pretty solid hold last time. If they can do it again, they'll only be 1 round down.
Yeah. Virgil now standing close on the other side of the secret tunnel, so with 100% Uber, we'll see what League want to do. They've been really good at getting forces with their sacks, so they're probably going to try to do that. AGB giving themselves mana. Jacob goes over the top. Can't find the medic, though. Townsy, a good pipe being hit by Joey, can do a lot of damage. Sackers will go down, but they do get that force, and again, exactly what they want. Oh, wait! He gets stabbed! The perfect timing to get them right as they back out of shutter. Fat 2K, and he gives his team Uber ad once again. That is crucial to keep them in the match.
Yeah, they really needed to get that kill onto Blake right there, because now they maintain this Uber ad. It's not going to be easy. You know, this round is still favored in Lemons. All it takes is one mistake right now from Froggieland, but they have the Uber ad. They've given themselves that chance. Need to make sure that you don't, you know, randomly drop 3 important players at the same time, like they've been a little bit prone to doing right there. They're maintaining ramp control. Moist, interesting positioning, but with the fist set, shouldn't be an issue to die.
Yeah, but now Joey
sniped
immediately, yeah. And with that, no sack can really come through. It's not Uber up for Virgil quite yet, but 25% ad will be enough to keep them safe here. They can't sack in with their current players, so gonna look to dry pressure a bit, but now Virgil on 90. It looks like they do want to go for a sack in the end, because they are waiting for players, but Conshoot again, another 2K, takes down Jacob and Nixie, 2 of the biggest threats onto Virgil.
Yeah, so she's going to likely live. I mean, Blake coming up on Uber, they're going to have to win this Uber exchange here, but it will be an exchange. That's the important part here. You know, not too much time really for any sacks to come out. So,
That's going to be Uber out. More flashes coming forward right now on the side of Lemons. They're going to have to back off this before their opposition. But look at the ramp post coming up. Sar does sent on AGB, and Moist is somehow on enemy fans. He's just doing a lot of work, but he will end up going down to some stickies from Joey Lemons here. So it's going to be Conscious in, not able to find the kill this time. It's man ad in favor of the Lemons here. A lot of damage coming through, an X's Wrangled Mini is actually doing a lot of work. There's the damage to Freelander.
Freelander over the top, going to be exclamation point on that. It is still Blake and Joey. But AGB in as well. Virgil doing her best to stay alive and will bait out Demento. Don't call it a comeback. Froggieland's brought this back to 3-2.
Yeah, they've been here for 5 rounds now, and they have the momentum rolling. 3-2 now overall, still in favor of Lemons. But Froggy, they have all the momentum now. 2 rounds in a row now. They've pulled an over 1 minute comeback to actually win the round here. So that's showing that if Virgil's alive, guess what? They're a pretty darn good team. Logs up on your screen right now. Demento and Carson both with 19 kills.
That wasn't on my push to talk. Yeah, I was going to say, crazy that good things happen when you have Uber charges and invite Highlander. Never would have thought, but I think we're starting to see the type of team that Froggy really is here. You know, able to have these holds, able to find these picks, those stabs by Constrate at the end, absolutely
every
massive.
Single one of those.
Finding
every single
Blake
one
there.
Of those. Yep.
And I mean, I'll be honest, if this was grand finals, I think this match is already over. I think we saw Lemons get a little cocky towards the end there. That over push into lobby really didn't do them any favors. You know, when they dropped 4 on the overextension, I wonder if this round's going to maybe kind of put them back into like, oh wait, we're not actually 4-0 rolling this team mode, where they're going to play a little bit more reserved. But Froggy's already got the points on the table. They've got the momentum in their favor. They've got a half now where it's going to sit in. They can keep talking strats, continue to improve. And if they keep it going, you know, it's been a long time since I've seen a reverse sweep, Zeg.
Yeah, and now these saying it's going to be, you know, the full lockout next round coming forward from Lemons. That's just how these things normally go. But in all seriousness, this turnaround from Froggy is really impressive. And we do see right now that on the stat screen, Townsy's doing his usual thing. He just quietly puts up 500 DPM every game, right? He always gets that down. Technomo's doing a pretty good job of coming in and getting cleanup kills. He's doing a lot of damage, more than Wish, by 50 DPM about. And he's doing just a fine job, even if he's not in every Uber. We're seeing a lot more like Townsy Pyrus Ubers come out from Froggy, but Pyrus has been no slouch himself, you know? It feels like he does a pretty decent job in the Ubers to kind of buy his team space. Bombs from Demento notwithstanding, right? But we did see Demento, he didn't get those med picks at the end there.
No, he definitely didn't. That's something to remember. And yeah, as you said, Pyrus getting good, you know, denies. I'm thinking of that time when he was up on roof and just air blasted the jump. Yeah, that was really big, just to be in those positions. I mean, it's been a while since Jacobs found Virgil, I feel.
Yeah. Actually, can you do me a favor while I talk about the next point? Look at the log stats for medic deaths and tell me last 2 rounds what they are compared, because I think Blake has more.
Yeah, give me one
by
sec.
By a decent margin, probably like 2.
Blake 7, Virgil 6 over that entire half. But and Virgil had 2, both men's had 2 in the first round.
Yeah, so it's 1 difference then. But Blake did die more in that second half. So Virgil having a lot more fun this half, to say the least.
Blake did die more, although worth pointing out, 1528 heals per minute to Virgil's 1368.
Is that over the entire half?
Over that entire half, yeah. So Blake over 1500,
that makes sense.
Which is
when you're dead for the entirety of the first round.
No, it didn't include those rounds, is what I'm saying. Only those 3 rounds in the second half. So despite having more deaths, Blake having 150 more heals per minute is something noteworthy, I would say.
Yeah, and I do want to give a lot of credit to Demento because he's doing a ton of work, right? He's top fragging his team while also top deathing. That's the Highlander Soldier special. 400 DPM as well, so he's getting a ton of damage down. It just feels like League of Lemons in that second half there, right? They had advantages in both rounds they lost, right? They were down to like 30 seconds, then 10 seconds on the clock
in both those rounds. Versus 2 minutes, yeah, and just they kind of fumbled it a little bit.
Yeah. It feels like in the second, the round, the one we just watched, right, where they did overextend to lobby and could have closed it out. I agree with you. That was really, really cocky. And that's the round they could be missing. You know, if it turns out they do get reverse swept, they'll be looking at that moment and be like, guys, why did we get 4 people onto their bats when we just had to hold for 17 seconds?
Yeah, not that's not the type of play you'd see out of a team that's really respecting their opponent. And Froggy made them pay. You know, that's the only thing you can do at that point, right? They said, okay, you're not going to take us seriously. Well, then get in there, punish them for it, and take some rounds back, make them uncomfortable. That's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, but I do have a longer pause coming through, likely because both teams are talking this through thoroughly. This match means a lot. It means map advantage in the first round of playoffs, likely between them when they rematch as the second and third seed. And it also has a lot of bragging rights on the line for both these teams. I know a lot of competitive people on both these teams here, so they're likely to be taking that talk into the playoffs and for the rest of the season. So this one definitely means a lot.
Yeah, and I've got reason to believe that Lemons tends to win the scrims a little bit more. So I think Froggy is really looking to hit them with the uppercut on this one and kind of even the score a little bit. Like, yeah, you beat us in scrims, but we beat you in the match, so none of that really matters. Always a really good feeling when you have one of those situations where the team that beats you in scrims all season, you show up late in the season, beat them in a match, and just hop them in the standings.
Yep, so we'll be waiting for these two teams to ready up. Likely to be a bit more talking between them, though. Let's see, is there anything else I really want to mention here? What's the SVS been overall? Because I feel like it's been pretty even where we've seen both snipers go on a bunch of streaks when it's been their time to get hot.
For that previous group of 3 rounds, it was 6-5 in favor of
Yeah,
SAR.
pretty close.
First half was... Give me a sec. Some big time lag on logs right now.
Yeah, because all the people accessing the site. The Monday night.
Monday night log. Oh, what do we got? We have 3... Oh, that's a sniper. 1-1.
Gee, they really didn't see each other. I guess that the first 2 rounds were real lopsided, so the snipers don't really get a chance to fight each other that much. As Dolphin has found the container barrel.
Jacob had 17 kills. Townsy was second with 13.
Yeah, Jacob was just steamrolling
massive.
In that first half.
And what's crazy is, like, you look at kill spreads, right? And you'd expect Jacob's fighting flank. Now, 1 kill scout, 2 kill soldiers, 1 kill demo. No kills heavy. He had 4 meds, 3 snipers, 4 spies.
Leave it to the spy main to spy check on soldier.
I think it was less exactly of spy checking and more of just catching Construed in lobby.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Spy checking is a term where it's like, oh, the context associated with it is your pyro holding M1 behind you permanently or the heavy revving constantly. But, like, real smart spy checking, which is a lost art in Highlander nowadays, is knowing the enemy spy's timings and checking the spots he's going to come for at those timings so you waste as little time as possible. And if there's one player that can do that, it's Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah, takes one to know one, right? Know exactly when, you're coming up and probably can read Construt's mind as he's crossing point while invisible at this point. I mean, there's only so many things you can do on Asheville, right? But, yeah, I think just... Do we know if either of the teams have readied?
I don't...
They have. I think they have. Maybe that was before. But,
I haven't heard
I see Carson having readied a while ago. I don't know if that was the previous half, though. Chat isn't very clear on that.
I wonder if we have any standings from around the league, because I do know that most of the matches at this point aren't super important. We do have most of the playoff spots locked in. There's maybe some pride on the line for the lower table games, but I do know that Squirtye confirmed themselves in playoffs here with a, what is it? A 2-0 win confirms them for playoffs. Or a 4-0 rather, because it's Koth. And fast forward 4 after dark. No surprises there.
Yeah, really not too much to be surprised about.
4 after dark. Only 1 round of the season still.
Yeah, not too great for them. But, I think they were really looking at more advanced, then got moved up into invite after the death of Mancrush Monday, so can't really get down on a team who didn't want to play and is now stepping up because someone had to. So admirable job by them. I mean,
yeah, it's me.
Help is 3-3 with RR right now.
Unfortunately, that's not good for either team because both teams needed a 4-0 to have a chance at playoffs. Now they're splitting points.
With Squirtye winning 4-0 doesn't really matter. Kind of both out of their hands at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, with RR and somebody help going 3-3 and then one's 4-3, that's gonna be what, 6-3 match points, or is it 5-4?
6-3, yeah.
Yeah, so both those teams needed 9 to really have a chance at playoffs. So not the result either of them would have liked tonight, but definitely some bragging rights coming forward in that match. Gonna be likely, I think, the 5th place decider between the two right now.
We'll have to see, I think Help wants to beat the 0-4 obligation or the allegations and say, yeah, no, we just had an unlucky schedule. We'll finish out 3-4, but they lose to RR, then kind of damages that narrative.
Yeah,
so
never really had a chance there.
Everyone in Froggie's going into spec right now. Is this the mid-match map review?
Or the team swap?
I don't think so. They've been on red this entire time.
They're drawing back right now. This is interesting. Both teams have been talking for a long time right now. We've been trying to keep you guys entertained here. It is a very, very long halftime. I don't think we have actual... If we do, no one follows them, but I don't think we have actual, like, procedure for how long a halftime has to be max.
Neither team has a problem with it. That I don't think.
Yeah, no one's really saying anything. So.
Although, actually, no. Nixie just said, what did he say before? Please God, Jesus Christ, I have work, man.
Yeah, a lot of people do, huh?
Hyphen goes, what were you showing them? And Virgil says, I'll show you my index cards later.
My index cards. We haven't had Tuesday Highlander in a while. It takes the best of threes on the stopwatch maps to really get into that.
I refuse to have Tuesday Highlander on a single best of one Koth match.
Yeah.
I'm out of here at 11:30 by hook or by crook.
We do have Froggy joining up back to the team. I did hear a ready up sound from Froggy. So Froggy's ready. They've talked about what they wanted to talk about. They've map reviewed mid-game. So they know what their plan is going to this final round. They need 2. League of Lemons needs 1. We'll see who can get that one across the line here. But now we do have League of Lemons in spectator for a couple of players. I'm not sure if that's break or map review. They're joining back now. Looks like we're going to get started in just a second.
Yeah, hopefully. Now 8v8, 8v9. Just Jacob sitting in spec, the king on his throne.
I do dislike that Carson and Jacob are both tagged up as Froggieland right now. Really not making my life easier.
Yeah, they've our casting essentials have been broken for a while now. Well, Zag's has been broken for a few weeks. My casting essential has been broken for a few years at this point. So we're at the mercy of the in-game aliases, and Carson and Jacob both have the Froggy tag on, which, yeah, as Zag mentioned.
And there we go. Both teams readied up. We're into the final half here of this Asheville match. High intensity. It's been great so far. We'll see who can take this one home. Again, 1 round needed for Lemons, 2 for Froggy.
Big shout out to the teams for ensuring that every single other Asheville match could finish in time so that everyone could tune into the conclusion of this thriller. As a bit of a slower minute here, Joey's going to be the first one down, but Freelander and Moist will be traded out for that.
Health is really bad on the side of Froggy. They need to, or on League of Lemons rather, they have to back up here. Ball over the top from Jacob, looking for the engineer, does find his man, but that's not the man he wanted. It will now be Virgil escaping through lower bats as AGB gunning down Conchi over the top, as well as SAR. So with that, enough kills go down that Lemons are able to take the mid fight there. Neither mid goes down, so they're gonna get the first cap.
Yeah, I want to point out, you called that they had the health advantage there, right? And getting a ton of damage is really good, but only as good so far as you do something about it, right? Really passive positioning as Blake, I know that feel when you're on ramp and 4 of your players are 40 HP, and you need to just, rifle out crossbows at them, and if anything happens, your team explodes. But nothing happened. Froggy either didn't call it or wasn't coordinated enough to do was come out, but they end up getting punished for it, then you heal back up and they lose the mid. As this exchange not going to find anything but a mini sentry on the sidelines right
Jacob's
there.
into the Heavy's face immediately. Wish 1 shot from getting the med pick there, but does get cleaned up by Axa. Virgil very nearly going down, and with that sack in post not working, it's going to be a free capture coming in here for Froggieland. They really put all in on Virgil there and didn't hit the mark.
Yeah, and just, continually been improving at living those sacks. Hyperbolic time chamber of bomb survival right now for Virgil. And the results are starting to pay off from those earlier rounds as, she's downloaded the patterns. She knows what Jacob's going to be doing now.
Clear got crushed by Jacob now. Air shot off of the awning and gets put into a sniper silent and dies. And Townsy, too aggressive, gets killed. Nixie doubles up onto Pyrus. This dry pressure from the side of Lemon just destroys them. And speaking of destroying them, Jacob goes in over the top, does blow himself up though without getting the med this time. So it will be a free recapture coming in for the side of Lemon.
It's like the Froggy I see when they have more than 2 minutes of cap time and less than 2 minutes of cap time with different teams, because it feels like every time they cap, Townsy gets goofed on by something way too far forward without a beam on him, and then they just lose 2 players instantly. Freelander and Townsy both go down and they lose the point. But once they get into that time where they're 2 minutes and League of Lemons is at 30 seconds, they start playing smarter. Townsy gets picked less. Townsy's kind of in exile mode right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we do see Sar gets a kill into Wish, which is big, but immediately loses the SVS here, so Nixie's gonna stand tall and force this other team to back out. Townsy popped up above the shutter, eats a pipe on the way out. Joey with a big fadeaway there to give his team full demo advantage, and with Pirates hitting a reflect rocket onto Jacob, will be that soldier going down here. So both men, neither man has died yet this round, I believe, so both gonna be charging up until now. That's a cast curse. I've never seen one. Confu finds the big pick, takes down Blake here, and now numbers add heal advantage. Froggy gonna take advantage.
Constant's been steadily making more and more noise over the course of this game. Had that big pick in the last round that really enabled Froggy to pull it back. And now, I mean, they're a minute plus down, but that's apparently exactly where Froggy activates. They'll clear 2 minutes on the clock with this hold, hopefully. Full ad for Virgil as well. And Blake's Ragdoll is still on mid for me, just sitting there as a testament to what cost them to win this point.
And Conchu gonna find the kill onto Jacob. It's not that big, but at least their medic will be safe from any aerial threats for now. Joey trying to walk out of Shredder here, and Moist takes a lot of damage. Townsy gonna rotate back over to help deny for now. AGP shotgun down by Exa on a 4.
They used this so aggro. Blake's just gone. What is the point of this Uber?
They thought they saw an angle, but it's just not there at all. And Moist 244 gets shot by Nixie, so now without a heavy, without Uber, they're gonna get pushed on here by Lemons.
And they drop Technomo, which is just a trend here, right? Carson gonna go ramp actually, gonna find Constru and Freelander. Good spy sense right there. They will wrangle down. Which
Jacob's in behind. It's a free kill. It's a free kill. Jacob's in behind. He misses his rockets actually. That's uncharacteristic, but it's fine. Nixie's got him covered. Gonna snipe down Virgil trying to get out. That body shot does the job here. So now Blake, 100% Uber ad. Time gonna be leapfrogging in their favor. Once again, both teams with a minute left. Jacob just not able to get out in time, but it will be Townsy's sack not working. They're going for it. They do get a kill onto Joey and Hyphen. With all those kills, they might actually be able to get aggressive here.
Yeah, they just extended the spawns too, you know, didn't delay. Not a problem with that, but they are going. Oh, although Moist getting stabbed is going to be a bit of a, you know, downer for them.
Found out. He's likely gonna. He gets out. AGP doubles up though. Picks Freelander, doing a lot of work on the enemy bats for now. He's gonna go again, but gets killed by Townsy.
Wish is just in the middle of everyone. Ooh, good fight by Townsy. Virgil is about a couple of frames from dying there, if not yet.
Actually trying. It's not working very well. They do pick a Jacob though. Sar, good angle onto ramp
4
here.
down, 3 down, and AGP is a spawner, so they have a ton of pressure they can work with.
Technical doesn't know if they can just go in med here. They're gonna go and they will force Blake's Uber. Gonna be popping up a solo onto Joey Lemon's here. It doesn't look like it's gonna get any kills at all though. So they get the level 1 from Exa and say they're gonna get out of dodge. Now Virgil 100% Uber, but they're at a minute time deficit here. So Froggy, oh no, Nixie! The shot onto Virgil as she's trying to cross bats. That one is a bit too far forward, and now off that Blake advantage. Froggy have nothing left.
Yeah, they're really going to need a miracle here. They have the 1 kill onto Nixie, which gets signed by Townsy. But there it is. Jacob goes down. A stab onto Hyphen. The numbers slowly in their favor, but not the heals and not the pressure.
Can't get there.
Not going to be enough. And a valiant effort from Froggy, and they get 2 points on the board, but ultimately going to fall short of even thinking about that reverse sweep as the League of Lemons take it 4-2.
And my prediction is correct. I'm a genius. But watching that cross happen, I saw that happen in slow motion in my head, right? I see Sar scoped up from his bats, and I just see Virgil's silhouette strafe out into the angle. Okay, she was trying to cross onto the other sheeting to drop down as close to bats as possible on the house, right? But they just did not account for Sar at all, and he's not going to miss that shot. Or
Nixie,
for Nixie,
yeah.
rather, yeah. Nixie's not going to miss that shot.
What gives me a sixth sense of Schadenfreude?
What?
When I rang for Froggy yesterday, on Saturday, Townsy got me dropped twice by calling that exact peak when their sniper was hardscoped on it. Which is so tragic to me because it
You should overlay your VOD. You should overlay your VOD over that kill. Like, put them one after the other.
Plague them throughout all of that. Townsy calls, all right, Med, we're walking bats in 3. I'm like, sir, yes, sir. Walk out, already a dot directly in the center of my chest. And I drop, and that little incident rears its head at the ugliest of times. I mean, if they get that Uber off,
they can win. They have a chance.
We could be 3-3 right now, but just be those little, mistakes. I mean, can you imagine what happens if we had just nulled those first 3 rounds as warm-ups?
Yeah, it's a very, very competitive game. And granted, the second round showed evidence of the problem that was compounded on from the first round, where the first round was just a disaster. Nothing went right for them at all. And the second round, nothing got fixed, right? After the halftime break and that very long pause in between the first half and the second, We saw a lot more coming out of Froggy. They looked coherent. They looked like they could keep their med up. They looked like they were winning, right? But at the end of the day, it's not enough. If you go down, if you're a slow starter, you got to be a good closer, and you can't have things like that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of confirms both of our like understandings of where the teams are. Where Froggy can absolutely compete with League of Lemons, but there is still that gap, right? Where like Froggy needs to be playing well, particularly well, and Lemons needs to be playing about average, honestly. Lemons' play on this map, I mean, Jacob's first couple of rounds excluded, did not strike me as particularly dominant. Not poor by any means, but previously when we've seen Jacob teams play Asheville, it's been brutal. It's been those first 2 rounds, but for the entire match,
for the entire game.
Really, the first round, right? I mean, yes, there were still a ton of bad deaths for Virgil in that second round, but I think they still got it down to like 16 seconds left.
Yeah,
that second round was pretty close, even with the tragedies going on in their backline. So, again, it's just that's that gap, right? Where if you just make a couple of lapses, Lemons can get that far ahead of you, but you play tight and you can compete with them.
Yeah, do you think these are combined logs on your guys' screen right now? I think, okay, so Tom's in the chat right now saying he's disappointed how he played. You can always play better, right? But I really want to say that I'm kind of disappointed in Freelander's performance tonight. I feel like we've seen him do a lot more. He might just be a more stopwatch-oriented soldier where he's really good at fundamentals, but I feel like he went quiet very often in that match.
Yeah, I think something I've noticed about, especially from watching them on product, is that I think Freelander is a better closing soldier than an opening soldier. As in, he's, his cleanup abilities are really solid, but if he's the first one coming in, he'll make the space, right? But he's gonna die for it, and he's not gonna be like a J, right? Who will bomb 9v9 when the enemy team knows he's bombing and still find a kill.
Hell, even Jacob's playing the role of opening soldier on League. He's always in there whenever he wants his team to be. He's almost always the first player dead in a fight where they lose, and when they win, he's always the first player getting a kill.
So something we haven't talked about: heavy diff.
Yeah, we did mention at the top of the show. It's gonna be nice seeing Carson back in the saddle, and he did very well.
Carson tripled.
Yeah.
Moist's kills. I mean, you can argue heavy kills are like sometimes you get kills you don't deserve because you chip someone for 8 damage, but he out-damaged him by about, 60, 75, tripled his kills, doubled his assists, had less stats. What were the heals?
Took 20 more heals per minute.
Ironically, got more heals, took less percent. Because Blake, over 6 rounds of Asheville, put out 1538 per minute. That is a masterclass.
Yeah, Blake had a really, really phenomenal game. And aside from, I can't think of any deaths that were exclusively his fault. I mean, you can argue the one where Contrud backstabs him and Shutter is kind of his fault, because at the point where your team's shutting on front, you need to be looking behind as the med when you're running through Shutters.
When he was forward, I think it was in the second or third round, and Sar hit him off of boxes. He should have known.
Yeah, that one as well.
He's telling himself, I should have backed up a second.
Yeah, earlier. The timer in his head's going off, and he's like, I missed it by a second,
I mean, even so, 6 rounds of Asheville, 9 deaths on Medic. That's an impressive performance. I mean, combo of the small deaths, no drops, that many heals, 3 kills too, just for fun time's sake. I mean, anytime you see a med break 1400 heals, you're like, okay, that guy was using his time well. You see 1500, there are no wasted efforts there. Which I'm glad, because I think we've seen Blake play when he was on help in prior seasons. I think he was a little silly sometimes. Maybe not in grand finals mode every night, but it looked like he really was playing at his best right there, and that's great to see, because I think when he's at his best, he's by far and above the best meta invite.
Yep, and that will just about do it for us here tonight. Again, congratulations to League of Lemons for a deserved yet hard-fought 4-2. As for Froggy, they're going to take this one out in the back rooms, and they're going to do some thinking about it, right? Because I do think this is a map they want to at least try to contest on in playoffs. If not, they're going to want Koth in their bank at some point. Because I don't think that Lemons are the type of team who you're okay with triple stopwatching against, or if they're even going to triple stopwatch you. I think Lemons are going to force a Koth map because they do have map advantage going to playoffs now, right?
Yes, I can't imagine why they wouldn't. I mean, maybe there's a case where Squirtye 2-0's fast fourth next week on Steel, and then Lemons may be able to hop them. But should Fast Fourth win next week, we will be looking at Fast Fourth versus Squirtye as the 1v4, and then Froggy versus Lemons as the 3v2, I guess. Ooh, which means Squirtye and Fast Fourth will play each other back-to-back weeks. Always neat when that happens. Didn't we just play you guys?
Run it back.
Yeah, run it back. But yeah, I think that will do it from us. Any other closing remarks, Zag?
No, I'm good. Good match. I wonder what we got next week. I'm gonna check the matches.
Fast Fourth versus Squirtye.
Yeah, that's
It's gonna be
cast.
that. Yeah, I think that's really the only other option too. Nothing else looking too good. I do want to give a shout out to my boys, the Mommy Men checking in. Got their first time being casted over on Fireside tonight, so shout out to them. And our friends Rogue and Godfather over there, giving my boys the limelight. Didn't pull out the dub tonight, but they tried their hardest, so I'm proud of them. Gotta give a shout out to the boys. So I think that'll do it from us, though. So you know where to find us. Same time next week. I'd like to say 9:30, but if you show up at 9:45, statistically speaking, you're probably going to be all right. I have been Alto, Zag by my side, Dolphin behind the camera, as always, and for all of us, and from RGL, thank you for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.